Our jam cam tonight with Chad Fortune, who drives Power Forward, owned, of course, by Carl Malone. On the right there, crew chief Kelly Gordon. Let's see what they're up to in our jam cam.
Got me a fish about 30 pounds, about yay big. Worked me getting in. It was cool.
So you're telling fish stories, is that what you're saying? Yeah, you got one.
Right for that.
Try to get in this meditative state. St. Louis, we flew up about 30 feet in the air and came down, popped that thing straight up. Oh yeah. That was a good ride.
And Chad Fortune, one of the bright young monster truck drivers, really improved over the last year, Scott.
No doubt about it, and working for Carl Malone has really put him in the spotlight.
It's easy, you know, we're friends. He calls me, he says how things are going. He just goes, run it hard, have fun, but run it hard. We want to win. His excitement for the monster trucks is a new step.
All right, Power Forward on the clock now for Freestyle.
I like the opening statement from Chad Fortune. He comes out roaring, lets these people hear and feel the horsepower that this awesome Ford's got. Great to have Carl Malone in the monster truck world right now. He's such a neat guy, so popular and well known. He brings a lot to the table, and he's got a great truck.
Picking up some dirt. As you said, got some momentum. Nice wheelie. Oh, no, he's over.
Didn't use but about half the time, but it's the best we've seen so far, even for 45 seconds.
I give Chad Fortune an A for effort for trying to do something special. The crowd, listen to them. They love it.
He deserves that cheer. I'm going to tell you, Chad Fortune, this is a tough course for Freestyle, and he got everything he could out of it. I'll tell you, if he could have used the whole 90 seconds, we'd be looking at maybe a 29 or 30. I'll still bet this is going to be a great score, even though it was only about half the time.
Chad Fortune with a 25.
How is Carl Malone going to feel when he sees what happened to that truck?
He'll be as excited as I am about this. I mean, it's a great sport. We're here to rock and roll. We went out early, but we're not going to let that stop us.
All right, after 5 trucks, Power Forward in front, but there's a little cushion. 5 points remain to get that perfect 30.
Still room at the top, as you're mentioning, and that's key. But Chad Fortune set something for these guys to shoot for. He kept the momentum up. He used his time well, but boy, do we have some dandy freestylers still to come, I'll tell you.
Now, you may wonder what the drivers see when they're freestyling. We did, and that's the subject of our What's That All About segment.
The flow is the excitement. I just start flowing. I try to get a pregame plan going, but as soon as I start the truck, I pretty much throw that out the window. It's keeping that motor rapping and keeping the dust flying and the dirt flinging and just keep moving, you know, and try not to never back up unless you get hemmed up in a corner.
You know, you're out there working the truck and you do have your hands full with that, but from time to time you glance up to see the response, to see how the fans like what you just did, you know.
I'm trying more now to look out at the fans to see the reactions on their faces and them waving, and if I'm getting a good reaction from them, then I know I'm doing something right, and it fires me up to just hammer down even more.
People are the ones that fuel our fire. When we get out there, you know, we're jumping around. Fans are just as much of a part as the show as we are. If it wasn't for them, if they sat there in the crowd and didn't do nothing, we wouldn't do nothing. You know, the louder they get, the crazier we get. We can always see what's going on, and it's up to you fans, you know, to high five us, you know, give us the wave.
You got to get a flow with the trucks that have gone before you and see what they do, and then once you see what they've done, you kind of say, well, that looked pretty interesting. Let's try that. And that's what turns the crowd on.
I'll tell you this, the crowd is certainly turned on here. We've got sand drag finals on the way, and we've got a lot more freestyling to come from Orlando.
Thanks, guys, and especially to y'all at TNN, United States Hot Rod, for putting this whole thing together, and 60,000 people right here in the Citrus Bowl.
Down in one of the Orlando night spots last night, there was a truck tug of war, all kinds of stuff. Monster truck fans there dancing, live music. A lot of fun to be had, and we had to go rescue Scott Douglas out of this. I wonder where you were about.
Well, you gotta have a
morning.
good time night before the show.
Yeah,
I mean, you get into town, get with all the fans. All the Monster fans were out at 8 seconds, and you know, it's just a great time. Kind of become an annual thing for the drivers and for a lot of us involved with the circuit. And you know, I saw you doing a little line dancing out there, Mike.
Yeah, you know what? That is kind of fun to do, and it was a good time had by all, and kind of a prelude to the great time we're having here tonight at the Citrus Bowl. Freestyle, the order of business now, and Gunslinger is up next.
Let's see what Scott Hartsock has for the hometown crowd here out of Oldsmar, Florida. That awesome Ford, the Gunslinger.
Now remember, he is a Floridian. Jim Jack got the best of him last week in head-to-head competition, so he's got his own little personal battle here going, and he'd like to be the king of Florida freestyle at least.
He's also got room at the top to outdo Chad Fortune if he can to get the overall lead, not only beating Jim Jack, but everybody who's gone so far. Ford F-150 body style, 557 cubic inch engine. Gunslinger generating about 1,500 horsepower.
And you can hear that horsepower getting ready to really rock. Whoa! Nice! Sky wheelie.
Well, that camera's taking a beat down there on the chassis, isn't it? Great, great shot to really see what goes on underneath those trucks in a freestyle.
All right, I like the momentum from Gunslinger. Still needs to do something spectacular to kind of wow the crowd just a little bit in order to beat that 25 put up by Power Forward. And that might do it right there. Sick air.
Gotta love it. The first guy to really take that roller on, Mike.
And did you hear the crowd on that, Scott?
Absolutely. They loved it. Incredible air from Hartsock. That one move probably is enough to get him in the lead, especially because he's going to use the whole 90 seconds, it appears.
His time is up now, and that one move, taking on that roller where he got the sick air, I don't think he wants to stop. I mean, he's not on the clock now, and there.
Oh, my.
But the crowd loves that anyway.
Nice slap wheelie. Now, technically, though, the judges aren't supposed to consider that because it's come after the 90 seconds. Scott just doesn't want to quit. There's the crush cam angle for you. Scott's giving them double their money's worth here. I'll tell you, super run for the Gunslinger. I like it.
Well, he calls himself cock-blocked and ready to rock, and he certainly was in freestyle. Whoa, what a score! 29 for Scott Hartsock.
I went out there and I just did what that big old Ford motor was going to do. That's to go out there and launch it over everything we could get a hold of. It was great to clear that big long jump like that. Had some major error. We've been doing some shock work to it. And man, we can't say enough for that killer Cohen transmission.
It was certainly working here tonight. Boy, he is the man to beat now. The crowd loves it. Let's move on and show you the sand drag semifinals to run just a little short while ago.
Doug McClung and the Fat Cat closest to you knocks off Mike Lane's Magnum Force. Maybe a bit of a surprise. McClung really having the best year that I've ever seen him have in the Thunderbody Sand Drags. Beautifully done there. Both guys were strong. And he'll go to the finals. Who's his opponent going to be? It'll either be Richter Scale or Hustlin' Hobo. JT Tolleson straight out of the hole. Hustlin' Hobo has been super all night. He gets a crack at the Fat Cat in the finals.
Yeah, JT is awfully quick here, and he really reads that Christmas tree well, and gets off the hole shot there and goes on to win. Now the crowd in anticipation of the finals. Doug McClung, I think Scott's going to be tough to beat.
Well, he is, and he's got that veteran experience. What you got to remember, though, with Tolleson and Hustlin' Hobo, theoretically, McClung a little underpowered. It's tough to say that about a big 540 cubic inch engine, but it's a 610. I mean, this guy has got horsepower to spare. If Tolleson could get off the line, great. He didn't get it done. McClung beat him out of the hole, and that got him the win.
How about the Fat Cat? Huh, Doug McClung?
You can see it. He just explodes out of the blocks.
And this Georgia driver is with Kate. He's the winner.
Doug, congratulations on that win. It looked like the competition was pretty tough.
It is always tough competition when we run this United States Hot Rod bunch. We travel together, we work on everybody's truck together, but when we pull that starting line, we're enemies.
Still to come. And we're going to get some more sick air here at the Citrus Bowl. Plus, we've got our pit stop question for you. Lots more Monster Jam on the way from Orlando.
I have an onboard pop machine, so what I do is usually feeds pop to me while I'm driving.
Jim in Indian, we're going to ask the other Jim the answer to this question. There are two pipes in the back of the truck that are always leaking this gross fluid. What is the fluid and what do the pipes do?
It's extra refreshments. I have an onboard pop machine, so what I do is usually feed pop to me while I'm driving, and then what I can't, spits back out, shoots out the back.
Not Mountain Dew, huh?
It is definitely Mountain Dew.
Now, Jim and Indy, here's a serious answer to your question about those pipes and the fluid that's leaking behind the truck. Jim.
It's basically, we like to have the valve cover breathers vent off. It shoots the excess out the back, and then if the engine gets hot, the antifreeze heats up, and that shoots out the back. It keeps anything from getting near us, the drivers. It's a safety feature, U.S. Hot Rod likes to keep everything safe, so we put the tubes out the back because we're sitting up front, and it keeps us in good shape.
It's much like a coolant in a car.
Yeah, we run the same coolant the cars do, but we have the overflow because we get real hot. It'll shoot it out the back tubes along with any excess pressure the engine will build up on the inside. Shoots it out the back.
Well, let's watch and see what Avenger can do in freestyle. A reminder that 29 already on the board from Gunslinger. And I still love the look of this machine.
1957 Chevy Nomad for the driver from Columbus, Michigan. And you mentioned 29. Doesn't take a math major to realize there's only 1 point Jim can come up with to take the lead. He's got to have a perfect third. Another guy that runs a huge engine, 575 cubic inch. Look at that.
Tonight there, sick air on the part of Jim Koehler. And that got the crowd going a little bit, so he's off to a good start.
Koehler, an underrated freestyler. For some reason, over the last year or two here on TNN, he hasn't really scored well despite having some brilliant freestyles. Let's see how he's treated here in Orlando. Now that is supposedly something that the judges will deduct for if you back up without making a move in reverse.
But when you get out like that, boy, it'll make up for it.
They're not going to deduct for that. Woo! Man, did you see how high he was?
That was worth backing up for.
Oh, yeah.
How about that?
You go, young man. That was
nice.
Outstanding. Came up a little short on time, though. Didn't use the full 90.
He's still going to score well in my book.
Can he get to the 30? I doubt it.
Nope, he gets to 27, though. 3 9s for Jim Koehler.
Obviously, you're familiar with the verb to launch.
Yeah, oh yeah, we definitely put it on high, and we shot it up as high as we could and put it over the big jump. It felt really good, really, really good. We got down here to Orlando early. We did Disney, we did MGM. Well, tonight was TNN, and we got that ride all right.